They may not be appearing on the football field, they may not even be on stage dancing and singing, but they are the future business leaders of America. Hello, my name is Michael Witsch, and my pleasure tonight is to introduce you to a few representatives of one of Mamaroneck's finest clubs, let's say it that way. So hi, folks.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
And let's start, if you would, just by introducing yourself. And Paul, we'll start with you.
I'm Paul Mamaroneck. I'm a sophomore at Mamaroneck High School. I'm also the chapter reporter for Mamaroneck FBLA and the District 3S FBLA Public Relations Officer.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Ken?
I'm Ken Pomerantz. I am the New York State Secretary, and I am chapter vice president.
Hi, I'm Ashley Hockman, and this is my 4th year in FBLA, my final year in FBLA, and I am chapter historian.
Chapter historian.
Yeah.
Okay. Adam?
Hello, my name's Adam Nisanoff. I'm a junior here at Mamaroneck High School, and I'm the Mamaroneck High School FBLA Executive Administrator, and I'm also the New York State FBLA Parliamentarian.
Okay, we're going to get to talk about these state offices versus chapter offices, but let's meet our final guest sitting next to me.
I'm Felicia O'Connor. I'm the chapter president, and this is my 4th and final year in FBLA.
Great to meet you all. And as you could tell, I've been talking with these folks before the taping tonight, and we had a lot of fun talking, and I've got lots of questions for them. And the first one is to tell me that the FBLA is a national organization, right?
Yeah.
Who could talk to me about that?
I'll tell you about it. It's
Sure.
actually the largest and longest existing student-run business organization in the world. And it's based on 3 principles: service, education, and progress, and to facilitate this transition from school to work for students.
How many members are there in this country, do you know?
250,000 is the national number of members, so that's the entire country.
And it's business focused primarily?
Business focused, yeah.
And is it supported by national businesses? Is that the way it works? Is that the way
Yeah.
it gets its funding?
Actually, there are a whole number of national sponsors in there who sponsor the different competitions we have, so members can be awarded with scholarships based on how well they do.
Then tell me now, on the chapter level, this is a local organization. Are all chapters associated with high schools?
Yeah, there's a middle level, a high school level, and a college level. So the middle level is middle schools. The FBLA high school level is 9 through 12, and then the college level is any college member.
Is there a FBLA level at our middle school at Homix?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
That's something in
maybe
our
talk about
future.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
And let's talk about the. You just came back from. Was it spring? Or you're going to the spring?
We just came back from the spring district meeting.
Okay. So spring district meeting. What happened?
We had, I think, 9 students competing on various competitions, public speaking, test taking, and every single student came home with an award, which is great. So I was really proud.
Out of how many competitors?
Out of how many? Each competition varied. So there were about 6 schools competing. I think there were over 60 students that attended. So.
And everybody at Mamaroneck came back with something?
Everyone came home with something.
Terrific. And I understand there are places. There are first place, second place, and it goes all the way down to?
Depending on how many people were in the competition. So at the state level, it goes from 1st to 5th place. At the national level, it's 1st to 10th. So.
How many people were up at the States?
At States, in total of members that attended last year, I think you said something 500?
Like 560, somewhere around then. From our school, about 20.
And then at the district level, there are, how many people participate in that?
For just our chapter or for the entire district?
For the district.
That was about 60 this year. It was a lot bigger this year, actually.
And then how many people in Mamaroneck's FBLA?
We have about 35 members, but we have dues-paying members, which are members who pay their dues and are eligible to compete. That's about 29, 28. And then this year we have, I think, 18 students coming with us to the state competition.
I think we have a picture of the entire group of you. I think it was snapped in early September this year.
Yes.
Okay. Looks like a nice bunch of folks.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
happy with the group this year?
Definitely.
In fact, you called them, what did you call them, amazing?
Yes, they are amazing. They're my family.
That's pretty impressive to say. What's amazing about them? Just their level of interest, or how
I
much
think
time they put in?
It's kind of weird because I spend so much time on FBLA work, way more than any of my classes ever. So to think that kids voluntarily will do work that they don't have to do, and they're not proving anything, they're not getting a grade, and some of them aren't even receiving awards for the work. The fact that they can do that, and then they can come in with a 30-page report and just say, here you go, I'm a high school student, I wrote a 30-page business report. Nobody showed me how. I learned by myself, or I learned from past experience, past reports. I think that's crazy. I think any student who can do that or take that initiative deserves to be recognized.
Yes, well, this is part of the recognition process, isn't it? We'll talk about them tonight. Paul, way back at the end there, at the end of the table, can you explain to the people who are watching what your work is in the chapter?
As a chapter reporter,
Yeah.
Whenever our chapter engages in some sort of activity, be it fundraising or publicity, membership, anything at all, I have to write articles and publicitize them into all sorts of local media, which includes online newspapers, the state newsletter, the FBLA Express, and the school newspapers and school online televised program, MHS Info.
Now, I know you were also putting together a scrapbook.
Yeah.
Is that something that you handle, Paul?
No, that's not
No,
part of the
that's my
reporter's
job.
duties.
Okay, well, we'll talk to you in a sec. And Ken, what is your, not your state job, but your chapter job?
I am chapter vice president, and that basically entails helping Felicia with her presidential duties, along with assisting all the other officers with their work and overseeing, general work within the organization or our chapter.
Okay, and Asher?
I'm a historian, so I'm literally in charge of documenting everything we do and putting it into a scrapbook for chapter of the year, which is like 170 pages worth of information that we did throughout the year, and then we get throughout state 1 through 5th, and then we go from there.
You're talking about you enter the scrapbook as
Yeah.
as
a chapter.
Okay, as a chapter, and then it's evaluated with how many other scrapbooks, roughly?
Like, I'd say around.
It varies every year, but
Yeah.
it's generally from a lot of the schools around the state.
It's not 4 or 5.
No.
We're
No,
talking
no.
a lot
It's
of
a lot.
effort. Okay,
Yeah, it's like 20, around 20, I'd say.
and then it could win first, second, third place, etc.
Yeah, it goes up to 5th place.
Okay. Did the scrapbook win any awards recently?
Well, we won 5 years in a row last time, but last year we got 3rd place. So now we're trying to redeem our 1st place.
This is the chapter standing in the state. So Mamaroneck is considered the 3rd best chapter in New
Yeah.
York State out of
Like 20.
20 chapters. But for 5 years in a row, you had first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot more than 20 chapters in the state, but depending on how many submit a chapter scrapbook, because
Oh, okay.
the scrapbook is incredible. So if someone submits a scrapbook, they've put in a lot of work. So the top 20 schools are the ones who submit the scrapbook. So out of those top 20, I think 3rd place is what we got.
Ah, okay. Well, it's still an honor and a distinction.
Yeah.
Right? And Adam, not your state position, but your chapter job.
Okay, so I'm the executive administrator. So basically, I'm there to aid the advisor because she has a lot of work preparing students for competitions and conferences. So whenever she needs help, she goes to me, basically.
Okay. Well, that's a nice lead into advisor. Who is your advisor?
It's Mrs. Siliano.
Maria Siciliano. And I understand this is her first time advising, her first year?
Yeah, this is her first year. She's doing a wonderful job.
Okay.
She's basically works behind the scenes with everything we do and organizes all these conferences we go to and helps the members prepare for the competitions.
Does every FBLA have to have an advisor?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was our issue, but Mrs. Siliano saved us. So we're very thankful.
I think because for 2 previous years you were without one?
We had an advisor, but it was kind of more of a forced advisor. I don't think they wanted. They were good at what they did, but I don't think their heart was in it. And Mrs. Siliano saved us, and she loves it, I think.
Great for you.
We love her, so.
Great for you and great for the school. Tell us about the state responsibilities, Ken, that you and Adam share with how many other people in the state?
So there are currently, is it 14 or 15?
14.
14 state officers, and basically together we run the programming for New York State. We make the program of work, which is basically different competitions and goals for the entire state in different categories. So the categories being Go Green, membership, community service, and publicity. So me and Adam assisted on that. For my personal state position, I'm state secretary. And as state secretary, I'm basically responsible for all correspondence and minutes. So for people who don't know, minutes are basically just a record of what happened at the meeting, saying who made a motion and what the motion was, and et cetera. So.
And as the secretary, you said you're a secretary?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any assistants working with you?
No.
No, it's just you.
Unfortunately.
And Adam, you're state parliamentarian?
Yes, that's correct.
And what is that job entail?
So basically the parliamentarian conducts all the meetings on the state level for the state officers. And it's a really important job because you're basically the only thing holding the meetings together. So you have to make sure they're run not only in a fair manner but also an efficient one.
Do you need to know Robert's Rules of Order?
Yeah, I've read it. I've read it 3 times. So
Have you really?
That's exactly what my job is, actually. And actually, how I got this position is you have to basically memorize the book or a good portion of it, and then you take a very difficult test on it. And among the top highest scorers on the test, the top 5 highest scorers are all interviewed against each other, and they choose at states they choose one person to be the parliamentarian.
When you say choose, are these other students? These are your peers, or is it a group
they're
of
from
adults?
Other schools in the state. So it's customary for each chapter to send a person for a state officer position.
So, I mean, what you're saying is that even though every FBLA has an adult advisor, this whole show is like run by you folks. You take all the responsibility for the organization?
Well, there is a board of trustees that oversees general things, but a lot of the programming and a lot of the things is passed by us and then approved by them. So it's the kids are running the show and the board of trustees are helping out and advising us. And
You're talking state or national?
I'm talking state, but there is also national officers and national board of trustees.
Tell us a little about some of the activities that you're involved in. I know you support some charities.
Okay, so FBLA supports several charities. On a national level, it's March of Dimes, so that's every FBLA chapter supports the March of Dimes. On a state level, this year we chose Habitat for Humanity. So throughout our state, we've been doing efforts, building houses, just raising money and awareness for Habitat for Humanity.
Is that also the same like with the March of Dimes? It's mainly raising money through other activities locally?
Locally, we do a lot of raising money and just also spreading the word for the March of Dimes.
Okay.
There are definitely chapters nationally that do walks and more stuff like that.
Understand. And then you have some organizations, activities that are right here at Mamaroneck and Larchmont that you do.
Yeah, we actually support our school's STEP program. We've been doing a lot with them this year. In fact, we had the slushy sale. So
yes, we could read about the slushy sale, can't we, on the school website?
Yes.
Yes, there is a report. For those who don't know what slushies are, Asher, can you tell them?
Slushies are icy treats that come in all different flavors, and we sold them for $2. And we gave we made a profit of $1 for us and then $1 to the STEP class.
Okay.
So we not only taught them how to be sociable within a business concept, but we also got a profit from it for us and for them.
Okay, and let's explain what STEP is, that program.
Oh, STEP is a program for mentally disabled kids, and they work with the students around us, and they have teachers and everything, so we help them and give them a business background.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you've got, tell us about this. You can hold that up for the camera to see. What is that?
This is our community service report, and this is our outstanding thing that we did this year.
Yeah.
And it's mainly just about all of the slushy sale and about the bake sales that we've been doing all this year in order to help them. So we raised money for them, and we also helped us write this report and everything.
And you've got pictures in there to show the STEP class
So
and yourselves working together?
This is the slushy sale. And
Okay.
This is more of the slushy style.
So those students in the STEP program work one-on-one with you folks?
Yeah, more or less. And then they have advisors there to monitor them, but we mostly work with them and make sure.
Tell me a question for all of you. What did you get out of working with the STEP students? I mean, that's a distinct population, and sometimes a population that people sort of, they observe and they might feel sorry, but they don't really get involved. You got involved. What do you get out of that, personally? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Personally, I mean, it feels great helping other people. There's nothing like it. There's no greater thrill. You know, helping others is the best thing you can do. And I would say also what it taught me, that specific thing taught me a lot about, I guess, working with others. I mean, it's a little bit more difficult with them, but they were very dedicated, and they really tried their best, and they were all successful. There was no real problems with them. And it showed me, you know, like, also the power of hard work and, like,
Yeah. You agree with that?
Yeah, I got a chance to sit down with some of the STEP students and see what a day in their shoes is like for simple activities that we would take for granted. And the student had little index cards where he had pictures on it, and he had to pair them up with the same picture on a screen. And it was really difficult for him to take a picture of toothpaste and just press the button, when for us that would be so easy. So I think the fact that if they can complete something like helping us work in the school store, when that kind of thing is difficult, that little thing, I think that is a major accomplishment, because that's big.
So besides slushies and cupcakes, you also do more serious work in the school store with them?
Yeah, well, the school stores, it sells other things other than slushies and cupcakes and stuff like that. We get in trouble if we only sold that. But we sell a variety of just snacks and things for kids after school during the end of the day when the cafe is not open. And it's a small project, but I mean, for them it's a big thing, because they get out of their classroom for at least an hour, and they come down and they get to see students that aren't in their classroom all day long. So
you had another activity, didn't you, around Thanksgiving? You did something with Stop and Shop?
Food drive.
Or at Stop and Shop?
Yep.
Yes. Who could talk about that for a second, Paul?
Yeah, so along in partnership with the local food pantry, the Hunger Task Force, as one of our community service initiatives, we actually, it was the local A&P.
Right.
And we just collected food as non-perishable items, and collected multiple boxes of it and sent it out to families with very low income. I think we supplied over 450 families for a Thanksgiving dinner.
Was that just the FBLA alone, or were there other organizations that helped?
No, it was just FBLA and the Hunger Task Force.
And then you've also done Habitat for the Humanity?
Yeah.
Volunteering as well?
Well, our chapter so far, we've mainly done fundraising for the Habitat for Humanity. We also made several posters that we hung around just to spread awareness for the cause. Yeah.
Okay. Are there other activities that you've done or you're looking forward to doing this spring?
Apart from community service, or?
As part of community service.
As part of community service. There's definitely a lot that we have done. Personally, I'm also vice chair of the New York State Community Service Committee. So I've been doing a lot for community service. I have monthly conference calls talking about community service on the state level and how chapters are going and how each district is going about doing community service. And it's very interesting, and it's also a great thing to do, just working, giving back, philanthropic efforts.
Does Mamaroneck serve as an example to other chapters, or do you get ideas from other chapters for projects that you could engage in here?
I would definitely say we do give other chapters a lot of ideas, but it also is a two-way street. There's, a bunch of creative people out there that come up with new things every time I hear about something that I've never heard about before, and it's a great idea. So without those people, I guess the world as a whole wouldn't be progressing. So.
Well, it's nice to hear that you're thinking about progressing the world, because the world needs some progression. I remember reading, I think your advisor said, a question that's often asked is, these people are future business leaders. What's the future going to be when they're in charge of it, when they're running the businesses? And I think she said something like, we'll be okay. And that made me feel wonderful. I hope you feel wonderful as well. I also hope you feel challenged. Do you ever think about the state of world business or even local business?
All the time.
Well, what do you think about it? What needs fixing? What would you do differently?
A lot of things. So the economy, first off, is not doing too great right now. I'm sure, as everyone knows, since 2008. I mean, I think locally, a lot of local businesses are doing pretty well. The Avenue has, since I was young, has definitely gotten a lot better, Mamaroneck Avenue, and wide selection of restaurants. And personally, me and another member actually of our chapter do a small design company where we design logos for businesses and do branding, and it's really, with the help of FBLA, has given me and him the insight to achieve this, and it's been a great experience.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk about local business, state business, national business, and what you'd do differently if you were in charge?
I mean, I've been working as a lifeguard for 3 years, so I think I know the value of $1 now more than I did before. But I think definitely, if I had to say something about business, if you want to know anything about it when you're older, start younger. So if I'm at this age and I'm working as a lifeguard, which most people won't think is important, I'm learning skills that people who come into the workforce first off are going to learn way later. So I think getting a small job first is definitely the first step towards a better business world in the future.
So Felicia mentions that she's learning skills. I'd like to ask you what skills you feel you are learning.
Well, I've learned the value of responsibility, because even though not like a class where you have, I guess, only negative pressure to get a good grade, you have a teacher constantly nagging you. Here, you work mostly for your peers. You don't really want them to be disappointed, and you do what's asked of you, and usually more.
It's important, by the way, to distinguish that this is not a class for credit.
No.
This happens outside of beyond class.
This is entirely a volunteer organization.
In some schools in the South, actually, I believe that it is mandatory. So, but not here. So,
not here.
Yeah, some count it as like an actual class that like you attend every single day,
Right.
and we actually have to attend our normal classes and then attend FBLA and fulfill our duty as our
Do you think that's a better model? Do it as an extra?
I think it is, because it's more responsibility rather than like you're like obligated. So like I'm more like involved in this because it's more like in my heart rather than just like another class I have to attend.
the other thing that's really
You get the
interesting.
people, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Okay. The other thing that's really interesting is our school doesn't have a business department. So FBLA basically is the business department for our school, and it really, in that regard, teaches a lot of information, a lot of skills that are essential to moving on in life and transitioning from school to work, which is obviously everyone's ultimate goal. So.
Okay. So can we get specific about skills? Paul mentioned a sense of responsibility to your peers.
I've learned how to write professional emails to people, so I feel it's definitely helped me
Wait,
build.
don't tell me you use capitalization and punctuation?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, I feel
Yay,
like
FBLA.
has definitely taught me to build my communication skills. And I pretty much, before I came into FBLA, I had an email, but I barely ever used it. But it taught me how important it is to keep in touch with people, and it's challenging in New York State FBLA, considering people are so geographically separated.
Do you also employ social media in your communication?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a New York State FBLA page, and there's a national FBLA page, and then we have a page just for Mamaroneck High School, and there's another one for state officers. So
You're talking about Facebook?
yes,
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yes.
Facebook pages.
It's
so
a closed group, though. I looked
Closed.
into that. Yes, I can't
We
get
don't want to
in.
give out our secrets.
That's from Mamaroneck.
We had
The
some sneaky
state
people.
one and the national
Right.
ones are both open. So if you
Right.
would like to,
It's not like you're keeping secrets from anybody. It's just that it's for the high school group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
honestly the chapter one's more of our banter and our make sure you're not late.
Right.
kind
But
of-
if a local business wanted to find out who you are and what you're up to, where would they go? They'd contact you, Felicia?
Yeah, they can contact me. They can contact our advisor. Anybody.
And the address would be just Mamaroneck High School, Mamaroneck, New York,
Yep.
10543.
Yes. That's
You
it.
got it. It's a simple address.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where the high school is. You don't even have to say it's at 1000 West Western Post Road.
Yep.
Yep. I remember. So go back to some of the skills that you're learning. Public speaking has to be one of them
Yeah.
because
Yes.
you're all articulate and nobody is stumbling or fumbling around like me. You're able to speak your mind.
That's one of my main skills I've learned from FBLA, because before FBLA I was very timid. I would never like have the courage to even do this, but like since FBLA I've actually like built up my courage to get in front of judges and like give a speech on something I've never like heard about, and now like ever since I've been in FBLA I'm more
So
confident.
researching would be another skill. Where to go for information
Yeah.
to get yourself prepared.
And completely on the other hand, I guess you could say, not researching and thinking on the fly. I did a
Creativity.
yeah, I did a competition called Impromptu, which basically you're giving a speech and you have 10 minutes to prepare after you get the prompt. So I have no idea what I'm talking about until 10 minutes before. They give me it, and you get one 3x5 index card, and then you have to go and speak in front of judges.
Boy, that's pressure.
Well, it's an
Fun.
interesting thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, great experience.
Have you talked to any local business people? Have you compared notes with any people who've just opened a business in Mamaroneck or Larchmont, or maybe have been in business for a while?
Well, what we do is at the banquet, we go to like local businesses and we ask for a donation, and that like gets us aware. Like we give them a letter saying this is FBLA, and then that like involves them into FBLA a little bit, and they will like ask us if they need anything or if they're interested.
While we were looking for donations, I know personally, when I was going with one or two other members, we would actually talk to them for a while. Like we spent a good half an hour at one place just talking about FBLA and talking about business with them, and it was very interesting, and it was great insight to the future.
Do you want to give a shout out to any of the businesses that support you on a regular basis? Or you're going to be diplomatic about it?
Yeah, we don't want to give away our.
Diplomatic.
That's okay, because you're not advertising
Nope.
any one group. You're advertising the concept of business. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And as I asked you before about business in general, are you all hopeful for the future?
Yeah.
That this economy is going to improve and employment will improve and
Be the
you'll be in
change.
charge. You will be in
Yes.
charge.
Don't worry, we got this.
Okay, thank you. Tell me what you're now doing. You're preparing for
The state.
the states,
Yeah.
and that is next month. It's in April,
Yeah.
and it's in Rochester.
It's coming quickly,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So what's going to happen? Who's going to states?
we're all
We're all
going.
right.
All of us.
You all are because
Yes.
you all qualified.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and you're running for offices again?
Yes, we are both rerunning.
Different offices.
Different
though?
offices.
Okay.
I'm running actually for what he is now, so I'm running for parliamentarian.
Right.
And I'm running for the executive vice president.
Okay, and is that do you have to politic or anything between now and then?
Most of the, I guess, campaigning
Yeah.
goes on at the conference. Actually, all of it. There's applications, interviews.
Right.
You have to take a test. All of that kind of stuff goes on before, but the actual campaigning doesn't start till you're at the conference. And for him, he actually gives a speech in front of all of the people that attend. I did that
Okay.
last year. And then he can campaign after that. Personally, my position is appointed, so all I have to do is take the parliamentary procedure test, and then it's go in a interview with a panel of interviewers, I guess.
Well, I wish you well. We're not going to have time to talk about. You're running. Are you going to states and
No,
you're going to
I'm
run?
graduating. This
Well,
is my last year.
Good luck and congratulations.
you.
Asher, are you running for anything?
No, I'm graduating
Quickie?
too.
No? Paul?
Not this year.
All right. Well,
Thanks for
then
having
it's
me.
time to thank you so much for spending this half hour with us. And again, if anybody wants to get in contact with you or your advisor, can they just write to FBLA Mamaroneck High School?
They can write to an email address, fbla@wow.com, WOW.com. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And would you like to hear from anybody in particular?
If you have a question or comment or you just want to say hello, anybody.
Good.
Whatever you wanna
Prospective
say.
members.
Well, thanks again for spending this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.